Namaskar and welcome to Sunset Television. I am Vishal Dahiya and you're watching our special show Perspective, where we bring you detailed analysis of all key national and international issues. Today we're going to talk about the landmark achievement which India has made in its battle against COVID-19, that is delivering, or rather administering, 100 crore doses of COVID vaccines. In fact, India has achieved this major milestone of administering 100 crore doses of COVID vaccines under the national vaccination drive. Expressing his gratitude to all those involved with the vaccination process, Prime Minister Narendra Modi termed it as a triumph of Indian science, enterprise and the collective spirit of 130 crore Indians. India took 279 days to reach 100 crore vaccination landmark since the vaccination drive began on 6th of January this year in a phased manner. Now, while it took 85 days to administer the first 10 crore doses of COVID vaccine, the last 10 crore of the 100 crore landmark were delivered in just 19 days. 8 states and union territories, namely Goa, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Ladakh, Jammu and Kashmir, Lakshadweep, along with Dadra, Nagar and Haveli and Daman and Diu, have so far administered 100% of first dose of COVID vaccine to its residents. Digital technology through the COVID platform has also been used successfully for the rollout of India's COVID vaccination program, which also happens to be world's largest and fastest such drive. Recently, ICMR's drone response and outreach in Northeast, which is also known as iDrone, has also been launched to make sure that life-saving vaccines reach everyone in the remote areas as well. In this episode, we will look at all aspects of India's battle against COVID-19 pandemic and specifically this landmark achievement which India has had today. And for more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of guests. Let me first introduce them to you. Beginning with us, we have in the studio Dr. N.N. Mathur. He's Professor of Excellence ENT and ex-director of Lady Hardinge Medical College in New Delhi. Welcome, Dr. Mathur. We also have with us Professor N.K. Ganguly, former Director General of Indian Council of Medical Research, and Professor Narendra Kumar Arora is also joining us, Chairman of the COVID-19 Working Group on ENTAGI. Welcome, all of you gentlemen, to Sunset TV. Let me begin with you straight away, Dr. Mathur, and let's start by understanding the scope of this achievement.
I think this is a very big achievement, and 100 crore is not only a figure, it is a very big milestone. And it has not only shown us that we have been able to deliver when it was required for the vaccination in COVID, but it also shows our preparedness for any future things which would happen, and when we would be, in case, God forbid, required to undertake such a task in future. So that just proves that the whole system was so geared up, and actually the preparation of it, I would say some part of preparation of it had already started decade ago when the polio vaccination came in.
Okay.
So that infrastructure which had been developed because of the polio vaccination proved very helpful in delivering this COVID vaccination.
Okay, and that's understandably the infrastructure has been built upon as well, and the use of technology, you know, that's something which is given speed to it, because this is not only the world's largest but also the fastest vaccination drive program, if you look at it that way, in terms of numbers and in terms of the days it has taken to deliver these vaccines. 100 crore is a landmark achievement. So the use of technology, if you're looking at there, Dr. Mathur, how do you see that has helped us?
Absolutely. Not only, I mean, it was not possible if it had not been done intelligently. It was done very intelligently. And the intelligence part came from the CoWIN app. And it streamlined, it organized, it created a platform in which everyone could log in, get his number and appointment and go there. And everything was digitized and they got the certificate also.
Okay.
So this was a very good thing that happened.
Okay. I'd like to bring in here Professor Arora also, because you are heading the working group on ENTAGI there, the technical aspect of it. And if we have to look little deeper into how it went about, the journey From the day the vaccination drive was launched on 16th of January this year to today, 279 days, almost 9 months, 100 crore doses. There were days when, the number of doses administered went above 1 crore as well.
Thank you, Vishal, for inviting me. And I would say it's a day of great satisfaction and also a day of self assurance that if we dream, if we decide, the country is able to achieve those milestones. But here I would also like to say that it is one of the milestones. There is a long distance still ahead, and we have to move as we have moved according to a planned kind of a roadmap. In future also we have to be doing in the same manner. I will like to take you back before 16th January.
Okay.
I think the roadmap and the preparation for 16th January started in February, March 2020. The moment the cases started occurring and it was declared as a pandemic, we very soon realized that unless there is complete Atmanirbharta, nobody is going to help us. And several transformative changes were made in the ecosystem so that today we are being able to immunize and deliver 100 crore doses, all made in India. Not even a single dose has come from outside. So I will just quickly list out. One was a transformation in the scientific and industrial ecosystem.
Okay.
India has been known as a vaccine manufacturer. Basically, primarily technical know-how is transferred and then manufactured. That means I am not undermining, because manufacturing vaccine is a rocket science as far as biomedical science is concerned.
Okay.
But we decided that India has to become a vaccine developer also. So in the last year, a lot of high risk investments were made, and that is why we are now seeing totally indigenous vaccines being developed and then manufactured in India. Second, the planning for how the vaccine will be rolled out was started in the middle of last year. How each vaccination center will look like and the way it will be scaled up, it was already planned there. Third, that to manage 140 crore people and how to manage the vaccine stock, how to manage the supply system, and how to bring in accountability, CoWIN platform, which is considered one of the best platforms in the world, was started developing, and by 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And now you can know that every vaccination center is under scanner.
Okay.
We know who was the vaccinator on that site on that day, how many doses were administered, what was the temperature maintained at the vaccination center. All that information is there.
Okay.
And besides keeping a record of every vaccinee, then giving it electronic certificate. You don't have to go around anything.
Indeed.
So this is phenomenal. Third thing, that as soon as this whole issue of vaccination came, it became very important that vaccines will be developed so rapidly that vaccine safety will be an issue. So vaccine safety surveillance in this country was ramped up. Adult physician was brought in. In now today, every district, 725 plus districts in this country have expert panel with adult physicians who take care of and investigate and
that's
do
very significant.
causality assessment for vaccine adverse events. And a very important component which was often forgotten was a social mobilization. Jan Andolan kind of a framework was prepared. A 360-degree approach has been developed. And this was built on last 30 years of experience with polio program, with measles program, and routine immunization, because vaccine hesitancy was expected. For the
Indeed.
first time in India and anywhere in the world, the adults are being immunized. So we had expected that there will be vaccine hesitancy, reluctance, or lack of confidence.
Indeed.
And so a proactive, responsive program was built in.
And
finally, the ecosystem of regulatory systems, the regulator was changed. On a rolling basis, emergency use authorization, how it will be given, how it will be immunized, there were transformation. And that is led us to the day 16th January. Here, I would also like to say, because of this philosophy, previously vaccines never came 5 to 10 years after they were introduced any part of the world. This time, within 5 weeks, India had the COVID vaccine anywhere which was available in so-called developed countries.
Indeed, Professor Arora, that is quite an apt summary which you've given in terms of what happened behind the scenes before that launch took place on 16th of January. And those are very, very important aspects which you pointed out. Those challenges needed to be thought about, needed to be planned, and that plan put in place and implemented as well. Let me bring in Professor Ganguly here as well. Professor Ganguly, we have had this conversation quite often in the past year and a half in terms of various challenges on the road to this battle against COVID-19 pandemic. One, the landmark which we have achieved right now, how significant do you think that is? And two, as Professor Arora is pointing out, the kind of effort, the kind of entrepreneurship enterprise, in addition to the scientific temper, the work being done by the scientists, but doctors, everyone who has been involved with the COVID vaccination drive, it is immense work and marvelous as well.
Thank you, Vishal, for having me. Today, as every Indian, I feel very proud to have achieved this remarkable milestone. And some of the things which helped was Prime Minister taking the vaccine himself and then making a statement today, as well as Kailash Kher's song, which was released today. So up to, and every channel around the world is discussing this achievement of India. But one of the things which happened in India, which helped us, our vaccine industry, which grew like a meteor by itself, although government helped, they, like for the influenza vaccine, they have given money. For COVID vaccine, also they have given money. Prime Minister visited every vaccine company. But vaccine industry by itself has risen as a meteor, and they had supplied the needs of about 80% of the EPI vaccine around the globe. So that was a huge achievement, as the pharma generic has achieved in India, and we need to remember them and applaud them.
Okay.
The journey has not been as smooth as we will like to make it. We had a huge number of hiccups, whether it was supply chain, whether it was manufacturing issues, whether the raw materials. Every place we had hiccups, but the good thing was this, that hiccup was overcome. Even the apps we faced hiccup, we overcome all of them. So the resilience and jugaad of India also played a very strong role over this. But I will like to set some challenges which we are facing now. Okay. And we need to take lessons from them, and we need to move forward.
Okay, Professor Ganguly, before you go into the challenges, I'd like to butt in here, because we'll come to the challenges part. But these 2 points which you made in terms of the journey itself, and as Professor Arora also pointed out, there were challenges during this journey. There were several hiccups during this journey. We innovated, we thought out of the box, and that spirit of science and enterprise, Dr. Mathur, before we move on to the future challenges, how do you look at that aspect? Because that is something which has seen us through during this period of crisis. There are other nations across the globe as well who are facing exactly the same crisis, but they don't seem to have fared that well as we've done.
So I think we had always been very good in application part, and that has stood us through this turmoil. And we have, a world knows that the Indian mind is a very good applied mind. And there was a challenge, there was a problem, and we figured it out, and we used the technology available and applied it. So it was basically the application of the technology that played.
And the scientific spirit, the entrepreneurial spirit there, as well as, Professor Ganguly was pointing out that the way the vaccine companies have risen to the occasion. Coming back to you, Professor Ganguly, since you're talking about the challenges, let's look at them one by one. We have tackled the challenge of vaccine hesitancy. We have tackled the challenge of making people understand that, yes, it is important, it is crucial for them and everybody else around them to get themselves vaccinated. We have tackled the challenge of production, manufacturing as well. Now there are several other vaccine candidates which are lined up. So from here onwards, how do you see the battle against COVID pandemic vis-a-vis, our country is concerned, and what needs to be taken care of?
Pandemics are global, and I learned my lessons from what's happening globally around us, and then take note that we don't have to face the same. Today, Singapore reported a surge. All the cases were local, they were not imported, they had very strong regulations. The same way there was a surge in Russia, there was a surge in Bulgaria and Romania and China. And these surges were significant surges which have happened, and all local surges. And many of these had got vaccinated, 60%, 80% of their population. In India, we have still 1/4 population not vaccinated, eligible population. We are a very young nation, and we have first dose we have achieved this, which is about 31% people got the second dose. And we have to get all those guys the second dose, because we know from the data, scientific data, that if you don't get second dose of the vaccines which we have, we are vulnerable, particularly those populations which are vulnerable, and the spread could also happen. So we need to really keep up the tempo to get all those guys who got the first vaccination, do not get complacent and get the second dose of vaccine. We are a young country, and our quarter of our population is below 18. These need to be vaccinated. We also have pregnant women, and we have 27 million births almost every year. And these pregnant women are very vulnerable. We have now vaccines for pregnant women. We have to reach them also. We also need to reach the school children. And school children, because if we see United States and other places, all pediatric wards are full. Dr. Narendra Arora is pediatrician. He will know more than me. But these, they are dying also. It is not that they are getting milder infection, but they are spreader of infection. They spread to their parents, grandparents, as well as the teachers. Finally, I would like to say, make one more strong point over here, that the issue of a booster, that has been settled around the world. Now the booster doses have been approved for the most vulnerable guys, those who are getting transplantation, waiting for transplantation, end stage of the diseases, getting cancer, chemotherapy, are on immunosuppressants. So all these guys need a booster dose. Colin Powell recently died with myeloma, and he hadn't got the booster dose, although he had taken 2 vaccines. There were a lot of celebrities around the world who have died. So we need to get into a policy of providing booster dose, because now we will be exporting vaccines. So if we will exporting vaccines, we should create enough stockpile.
Make provisions for that part as well.
Those particular things should be there. The Disaster Management Organization in India is now, with a very good news, it is creating stockpile for essentials, medicines, as well as other things needed for COVID-19. We should do that.
Those are
My
very, very
last
significant
word-
points, Professor Ganguly. Since we're running short of time, I'd like to bring in Professor Arora here as well on this, since he's part of that, or rather heading the COVID-19 group on the technical aspects there. Professor Arora, in your first response itself, you were also mentioning that the battle is far from over when we're talking about COVID-19 pandemic. And yes, this is a significant achievement, a wonderful milestone which we have crossed, that is administering 100 crore doses. And some of the challenges have been listed by Professor Ganguly here in terms of vaccines for those below 18 years. And working at the same pace as we worked for the first dose, for this administering second dose as well. The issue of booster dose also. Now, these are larger challenges. What's the roadmap from here onwards?
So I will continue where Professor Ganguly left. So children are our most valuable asset. And we have 44 crore children below the age of 18 years. The country is getting geared to immunize them with same gusto and intensity as adults have been immunized or are being immunized. There are 4 vaccines, out of which the data is available for Zycov-D and Covaxin. And then there are 2 other vaccines, Carbovax from Biological E and Covovax from Serum Institute. And so that there would be sufficient vaccine for children to be immunized for all age groups. Having said that, there is a certain group of children who are likely to have more severe disease and possibility of death if they get COVID. And so a list of prioritization list of comorbidities is being prepared so that at the earliest they can be taken over. But we expect that by sometime in the first quarter of 2022, we should be ready to immunize children or healthy children also. So that is one. The second is that as we are moving, today we have covered almost 77 to 80% of adults, at least 1 dose. The encouraging part is that almost 1/3 of the large states and 8 or 9 smaller states have given vaccines to over 95%. There are several states which have given at least 1 dose to 100%.
Yes, there are 8 of them.
We should be able to reach up to every level, encourage everybody to start taking vaccine. And therefore, our ASHAs and frontline workers are playing a very interesting role. And I think many of us know there is a man-to-man marking. If you go and ask who are the families who have not taken vaccine, they have a line list so that you can kind of look at them, talk to them and convince them if they have any hesitation. So because last mile is going to be more difficult than what we have seen so far. So we cannot be complacent. So that is one issue. The second is the second doser. During last 3 weeks, second dosers have increased. But initially there were a lot of people in the first 3-4 months who just got 1 dose and they have not come up. So there is now a plan and program to encourage those, identify those people and mobilize them to get the second dose, even if the interval is increased. So the roadmap ahead is not going to be a cakewalk since we have achieved these milestones. And that's why I said there are several more milestones. And these milestones, as we move towards our final destination, are going to become more difficult and more effort. But I think the country is prepared for that.
Indeed. Those are very significant aspects there. Dr. Mathur, I'd like to bring you in here and, your views, concluding comments in terms of the challenges which have been identified by both Professor Arora and Professor Ganguly there. And also the very fact that the focus now has to be on those who have to be administered the second dose and also those below the 18 year of age. Therein, everybody will have to pull up the socks and ensure that we achieve this milestone also at the same speed as we have achieved the first one, that is delivering 100 crore doses of COVID vaccine, most of them the first dose.
Absolutely. Delivering 100 crores is a big milestone, but we have to not let the tempo go down. And especially in next 3 months, we want to achieve immunization above 18 for all, both the doses. And that can only be done if we maintain this level of intensity of immunization. And it has been done so far well, but more needs to be done.
Okay. There is always place for more to be done. Thank you so much, Dr. Mathur, Professor Ganguly, and Professor Arora as well for sharing your views and insight with our viewers. So there it is, as our experts were pointing out, the story behind the journey of reaching this landmark of 100 crore COVID vaccines being administered in India, and also India's fight against COVID-19 so far. As our experts were pointing out, there are still challenges which we need to tackle, and there is this part of the journey which is crucial now, and we will have to put our best foot forward. Obviously, every Indian should be congratulated at this point in time for this crucial achievement, but all of us will have to put our best foot forward to go ahead and win this battle decisively against COVID-19 pandemic. We'll come back again tomorrow. Till then, keep watching Sunset Television. Thank you.